Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's not just trending, it's actually tearing the movement apart because today, Candace Owens just went nuclear. I'm talking about leaked messages, texts that she claims Bill Ackman, yes, the billionaire Bill Ackman, didn't want America to see. And these aren't just any old texts. They're allegedly from Charlie Kirk himself, sent 48 hours before his death. Now, in these messages, Charlie admits he was bullied by donors, pressured over Israel, and losing millions for refusing to cancel Tucker Carlson. Now, I want you to ask yourself right now, why would anyone want to bury that? Now, Candace says the truth is being buried by money, by influence, by the same powerful network that decides who gets a platform and who disappears. And Bill Ackman, well, he's fighting back hard. Accusations, accusing Candace Owens of spreading lies, meanwhile releasing his own texts, trying to control the narrative. So here's the big problem here. Every time these people try to clean it up, they make it worse. In fact, the conservative world is on fire right now. Billionaires are panicking, and America's watching because what started as private conversation between Charlie Kirk and his donors has suddenly turned into a public war over truth, loyalty, and the price of silence. So buckle up, folks, because this isn't just about left versus right anymore. In fact, this is much bigger than that. This is about power versus principle, about what happens when even the loudest voices in the movement realize they were never as free as they thought. So today, Candace Owens isn't backing down. And what she just revealed might change everything that you thought you knew about who's really in control. Drop a Candace Owens down below if you want to hear what she just said about this. Now, this hit like a thunderclap, folks. One post from Candace Owens, and all of a sudden the entire conservative world stopped breathing because this wasn't just another tweet. It was a direct hit on the billionaire donor class that's quietly shaped the movement for decades. Candace didn't just hint at corruption. She dropped what she says are real text messages between Charlie Kirk and his top donors, messages that pull back the curtain on how far the money game really goes. Now, in these particular text messages, Charlie vents about losing major funding after refusing to cancel Tucker Carlson. The message was clear, guys. The message was very clear. Speak freely and lose millions. And at the very center of all of this firestorm stands Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman, why is he in the middle of this firestorm? Well, the Wall Street giant, outspoken Trump-era donor, and relentless defender of Israel, now his name is trending right next to Candace's. And the real question that's burning through the movement is very simple. Is she exposing manipulation or is she blowing up her own side? So as President Trump essentially pushes America and the America First agenda deeper than ever, this feud starts to feel bigger than any one influencer spat. In fact, it's about who truly runs conservatism in 2025, the voters who believe in truth or the billionaires who believe they own it. So let's get straight to what's inside of these now infamous texts, shall we? So Candace Owens released screenshots that she says came from a private Turning Point group chat. Now in them, Charlie Kirk confides that he just lost a $2 million a year donor, someone furious that he refuses to cancel Tucker Carlson. He writes that these Jewish donors keep bullying me and that he's ready to walk away from the pro-Israel cause. Within minutes, those lines exploded online. Millions of impressions, tens of thousands of shares, and a flood of questions that the establishment just can't answer. Are these authentic? Were they taken out of context? Or do they confirm everything that Candace has warned about, money used as a muzzle? What is it, right? So Bill Ackman insists that the story's twisted, that Candace weaponized grief for clicks, but every denial only fuels the fire because if the messages are real, they paint a very chilling picture. One of the most influential young conservatives in America privately admitting that he was being financially cornered and then and then he's being killed and ended up dying 48 hours later. This is why this isn't gossip. This is a warning. Power, money, and silence all colliding in real time. Now, it used to be a normal thing to pick a Medicare plan and never touch it again. But times have changed. Costs rise, networks shift, doctors go out of network, benefits come and go. This is why the new standard is reviewing your Medicare plan every year with Chapter. They keep you updated, protected, and confident. Now, one of our viewers, she said, Chapter made reviewing my Medicare super plan simple. So now I just do it every year without stress. So let me ask you, are you sticking with the old way or are you going to join the new standard like most people already are? And most people, they're already dialing that phone number right there at the bottom of your screen, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. So the second Candace Owens posts hit critical mass, Bill Ackman went into overdrive. Screenshots, statements, and a PR machine working around the clock to clean up what he calls a dangerous distortion. Now, Ackman released his own text messages, carefully cropped, neatly timestamped, and all designed to make him look calm, professional, and totally uninvolved. But anybody who's watching this story closely, anyone watching this unfold, they can feel it. This isn't just cleanup, this is containment. So Ackman insists that he never pressured Charlie Kirk. He says that, the two had a cordial relationship and that any claim of blackmail or threats, it's categorically false. But I want you to ask yourself today, guys, if you're watching the show right now, ask yourself, if this were just about one influencer, why would a billionaire care enough to release private correspondence, right? I mean, it's not just reputation, this is control. Ackman's wealth touches everything. Universities, nonprofits, and conservative media foundations. He doesn't just donate to causes, he shapes them. So when Candace called him out by name, she didn't just poke the bear. She cracked open the entire zoo. And so right now, the world's watching a billionaire scramble to manage optics while the government's grassroots are essentially asking the one question that terrifies elites the most. What else are you hiding? Right? So here's where it gets haunting. 48 hours before Charlie Kirk's death, he allegedly sent those text messages, those very messages that Candace Owens just exposed, text describing donor backlash, text admitting that he had lost another huge Jewish donor for refusing to silence Tucker Carlson, text saying he won't be bullied anymore. Then, 2 days later, he's gone. Nobody can definitively say what happened behind the scenes, but everyone can feel it. The tension, the fear, pressure of being the face of a movement while knowing your next paycheck depends on staying in the good graces of billionaires with geopolitical agendas. Yeah. So Charlie Kirk, he was one of the most loyal conservative voices, pro-Trump, pro-faith, pro-America. But in those final days, even he seemed to realize something darker was happening, that speaking freely about Israel or even questioning donor influence was career suicide. Now, I don't know whether you believe Candace Owens or Bill Ackman. Drop a Candace Owens down below. Drop a Bill Ackman if you believe Bill Ackman. But whether you believe either one fact remains. Charlie's last known words weren't about fame or politics. They were about pressure. He said it himself. He couldn't and wouldn't be bullied. And that defiance right there might have been his last act of freedom. So now I want to talk about what nobody on cable news will touch, the deeper rot beneath all of this. Because truth is, guys, if you want honesty here, the controversy didn't start with Candace Owens or even Charlie Kirk. It started with money, big money, foreign linked money that's quietly dictated who gets airtime, who gets sponsorships, who gets blacklisted from conservative media. For years, a handful of mega donors, many with dual political or financial loyalties, they've funded think tanks, conferences, and influencers under the condition that they remain unwaveringly pro-Israel. Now, the moment someone questions that stance, the knives come out, careers vanish, funding evaporates. But in President Trump's second term, that silence is cracking. Trump's America First agenda, it has revived a populist spirit that doesn't bow to foreign policy donors or global lobbyists. It creates a divide between those who serve the movement and those who serve the money. In the Bible, it says, the root of all evil is money. Isn't it? Right? So that's what Candace exposed. Not anti-Semitism, but anti-silence. She's not attacking faith, she's attacking control. Because when supporting allies becomes code for shutting people up, that's not patriotism, that's puppetry. And the new generation of conservatives, they're not buying anymore. In fact, the truth is, the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, if there's one thing that you can say about Candace Owens, it's this. She didn't flinch. When everyone told her to back down, when donors threatened lawsuits, when mainstream outlets called her unstable, she doubled down and she went live anyway. Her message was simple. I won't be silenced. Candace says that this isn't about hating anyone. It's about transparency. She claims that she's being punished for doing what journalists used to do, question the untouchable. And the more the billionaire class tries to muzzle her, the louder she gets. She's even drawn comparisons to voices like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, lawmakers who've also clashed with GOP mega donors while standing with Trump. Together, they've become symbols of new conservative rebellion, one that values truth over sponsorship, conviction over comfort. This is why Candace is so dangerous to them. She's not just calling out one man, she's challenging the entire system that decides who's acceptable inside the conservative movement. And clearly, Candace can't be bought. That's a problem for them. They told her to stop talking. She responded with receipts. They told her to play nice. She pulled the pin instead. Candace Owens isn't asking for permission anymore. She's rewriting the rules. Now, here's where things get explosive because this next part isn't rumor anymore. It's pattern. So Candace Owens and others are calling it the pro-Israel blackmail network, a system where loyalists and loyalty isn't earned, it's bought. She claims major funders through a web of nonprofits and political PACs use their donations as a leash. Speak up against Middle Eastern wars? Funding gone. Question foreign aid? You're labeled anti-Semitic. Invite Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly to your event? Expect angry phone calls from concerned donors. So here's a kicker. Reports are circulating that influencers were allegedly offered up to $7,000 per post to promote pro-Israel messaging across social media. $7,000 just to repeat talking points. Interesting. So now Candace Owens isn't accusing the Israeli government itself. She's calling out Americans who've weaponized philanthropy to manipulate speech. She says what's happening isn't advocacy, it's coercion dressed in patriotism. And that's why this is spreading like wildfire, because people are realizing if billionaires can control what conservatives say about one foreign country, what else can they control? This isn't just about Israel. This is about who owns the microphone. It's about who's brave enough to rip the cord out of their hands. Now, to rewind to Tucker Carlson for a second. Before any of this blew up, Tucker Carlson warned about it on air and behind closed doors. He said Charlie Kirk was being tormented by donors for refusing to toe the line. Tucker called it out for what it was: financial intimidation dressed as patriotism. And so now, months later, those warnings are echoing louder than ever under President Donald J. Trump's second term. Because Trump's foreign policy, it has completely flipped the table. No new wars, no blank checks overseas, and a laser focus on America first. That made him a target not just for Democrats, but for global donors who've built their fortunes on the old system: foreign aid, influence, and manipulation. The same people who once called Trump reckless, they're the ones that are panicking today as he redirects billions away from the foreign entanglements and back into the U.S. economy. Suddenly, all of a sudden, anyone who echoes that America First message, Tucker, Candace, even Charlie Kirk, they're suddenly facing a storm of backlash. Coincidence? Or is it proof that the very people profiting from global instability are terrified of losing control? Well, either way, the message is rather clear. The swamp wasn't just in Washington. It was hiding behind the checkbooks too. Now, right now, the conservative movement feels more like a battlefield. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and grassroots voices are rallying behind the banner of truth, while billionaires like Bill Ackman scramble to regain control of the narrative. And in the middle of it all, Charlie Kirk's death hangs over everything like a haunting reminder of just how deep the pressure runs. Legacy media is spinning this as an anti-Semitic meltdown. Think, that's the trick, isn't it? The second you question the money or the motives, you're all of a sudden labeled dangerous. It's not about hate, it's about who decides what's safe to say. Meanwhile, the grassroots are rising up. Americans are tired of being told which opinions are approved. They're done watching their favorite commentators fold under donor threats. The real divide isn't left versus right anymore. It's really more like top versus bottom. The elites versus the believers. You see, the landscape's changing here. Trump's America First message has reignited something raw and fearless. The old guard's terrified because for the first time in decades, people are realizing that the real patriotism doesn't come with a price tag, and the movement belongs to us, not to them. That is scary for them. So here we are, guys, October 2025, President Donald J. Trump's back in the White House, the economy's roaring, the swamp's exposed, and yet inside our own movement, a war is raging, a war over truth. Candace Owens stands defiant alone in the crossfire. Her allies are nervous, her enemies are powerful, and the establishment, they're desperate to silence her. Because this isn't just about one text thread or one billionaire. It's about the soul of the conservative movement and the cost of saying what others are just too afraid to say. Charlie Kirk's death shook millions because it forced everyone to confront a painful question. If someone that connected, that loyal, that untouchable could be pressured into silence, what chance does the average American have? Candace's stand isn't perfect. It's risky, messy, and explosive, but it's real. She's forcing the truth into the light. And as the dust settles, I want you to remember this. The price of freedom has always been courage. And in a world run by donors, the only thing more dangerous than telling the truth is staying quiet.